This time he's going to hand it off. That's Escarcega. He's in around the left side. Touchdown. Up at the 20. Now he's coming down the sideline. He gets a block. He's out to the 48. Oh, no, they're going to fake the handoff. And now under heavy pressure and coming in on the sack is going to be Connor Fry. He did that twice last week. He could go all the way. He's at the 30. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. Touchdown, Eduardo Hernandez. Roll to the right. He's being chased. Now he throws the right to a man coming across the field, and it's going to be caught. And now we have a foot race going downfield, but coming in to tackle Jacob Signs. Two receivers to the left, one to the right. And they're going to hand it off to Escarcega. He has a big opening. He's out in the out to the 40-yard line. They're going to roll to the left. He gets past the receiver, throws it deep in the end zone. Touchdown, Dumas Demon, Cole Garcia. And he's going to hand it off to Escarcega. He's looking for something on the right side. Now he breaks through. He's at the 20. He's at the 10. Touchdown, Luis Escarcega from 49 yards out.
Well, that was a great run by Escarcega.
Cole DeMille throws it across the middle. He has James Coley open. He's going to run away from everyone. He'll score. Touchdown, James Coley, Dumas Demon.
Let me tell you, that's about as good as you can draw it up.
And everything's coming left, and it's number 0. He's going to be hit, and I think that's Jonathan Marquez. Torres under center. He pitches it. Here comes, no, he fakes the reverse, but Dumas doesn't go with it, and they tackle him at the 6-yard line. Dumas defends. All right, Mills back to pass, looking, throws across the middle, has a receiver open.
Oh, wow.
That could go the distance. Is that James Coley again on the run? It's going to be at the 10. Touchdown, Dumas Demons. That's Johnny Marquez, I believe, number 3.
Yes, it was.
It shows blitz on the left. Here it comes. They're going to pick it up. No, Dumas going to knock the ball down, and I think Dumas going to fall on it.
All right, welcome back for another episode of Behind the Mask, joined by another Dumas Demon football player. I'll have them introduce themselves and tell you a little bit about themselves as well. Why don't you tell everybody your name, your number, and your position?
Yes, sir. My name is Eduardo Hernandez. I am number 24. I play running back for the Dumas Demons.
All right. Tell everybody who your position coach is.
My position coach is Coach Sheldon.
Okay. I'm going to ask you some questions. First thing that comes to your mind, all right?
Yes, sir.
Who's the fastest player on offense?
Fastest player on offense, I think Jacob.
All right.
Signs.
Jacob Signs. What about on defense?
On defense, I'd say Imano.
Yes, everybody kind of thinks Imano's pretty quick. Mm-hmm. If the coaches were to line up and race, which coach do you think would win?
I feel like Coach Phil.
Coach Phillips. Phil. All right. That would be interesting to watch. Okay, dance battle breaks out in the locker room. What player would win that?
Jacob Signs for sure.
Jacob Signs got the moves?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What about what coach? What coach got the best dance moves?
Coach, I'd say Coach Interath.
Coach Interath?
Yes, sir.
See that? Probably does a sprinkler. What songs we find on your playlist before the games? What get you going?
Something by Drake.
Okay. Think about Drake. What away stadium do you like playing in the most?
I like playing at the Ratliff Stadium in Odessa.
Oh yeah, yeah, that was cool. You got to move up and play some that week.
Yeah,
good game. Which away stadium do you not enjoy playing in?
Hereford Stadium.
Hereford. Yeah, we're going there this year. I think that'll be the last regular season game this year. Teammate most likely to be a bodyguard.
A bodyguard, Keegan Ireland.
Yeah, all right. Teammate most likely to be in the NFL.
I'd say Cole Garcia.
Okay, yeah, I like that. Who is the coach most likely to hurt themselves celebrating your game-winning touchdown?
Coach Sheldon.
All right. Teammate most likely to drive for NASCAR.
Luis Escarcega.
Yeah, he's kind of been one of the guys everybody's been talking about for that. Teammate most likely to make a huge block on your way to the end zone.
I'd say Keegan Ireland.
Yeah, for sure. He'll spring. He's going to make some big blocks for you all season. Coach most likely to tell a corny dad joke.
Coach Hernandez. Coach Hernandez.
These questions going to be a little bit more serious. You guys playing a lot of big time games. Who keeps you guys loose in the locker room?
I'd say Cole Garcia.
Yeah.
He always motivates us to do better, and he's just a good leader.
Yeah, I can see that. Is there any special reason that you're wearing the number you wear, number 24?
I'd say I got inspired to wear number 24 by Marshawn Lynch.
Okay.
I liked watching him play growing up, and he was always my favorite player.
Got a little bit of Marshawn in you, don't you?
A little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit.
Run some people over. What senior teammate do you feel like is going to have a big year this year? What senior?
Jonathan Gutierrez.
Okay, JG.
Yes.
Over on the outside there, receiver. Which underclassman do you see, guy that maybe hadn't played a lot or been on varsity much? Who do you think is going to have a breakout year this year for the Demons?
I'd say Blake.
All right, Blake Robinson. Mm-hmm. What has football taught you about life?
It has taught me discipline and to work hard for what you want, and hard work beats talent when talent is not working.
Oh, all right. That's really good. Well, Eduardo, thanks for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Looking for you to have a really big season. Watch out for this guy in the backfield, number 24 running back, Eduardo Hernandez.
You're watching Dumas ISD TV.
Welcome back for week 7 of the Coaches Show. I'm Zane Powers, joined by head coach of the Dumas Demons, Aaron Dunnam.
Hey Zane, how are you?
Doing good.
Good.
Getting ready for district game number 1. Demons finished off this past week with a big win in Ratliff Stadium in Odessa against the El Paso Austin Panthers. You rack up 327 total yards offense, keep them to 228 total yards. Talk about your guys' effort.
It was a great game. It was a great way to get back on the win column.
Yeah.
We had talked last week about how important I thought this game was as it brought us momentum into the district play, and I think that's exactly what it did. It was a different game.
Sure.
It's a long road trip, 6 o'clock start. The environment isn't quite what it had been. Because we've played in some really good environments for football, and this one was just totally different. So it was a little bit odd of a game, and so we had to sort of create our own energy. We a little slow to start off with. It went in at halftime actually getting beat 7-6, but then came back and just really executed really well. Got our offense going. Had some really big defensive stops.
Yes.
Really, what I was proud of and what I really like to see is how we responded defensively after turnovers. I thought that was big. Not something that we'd exactly have done all year long, and so that was good to see. And then I think we just created the momentum that we wanted to. Got a big win, and just looking forward to gaining from that and as we go into district play.
Let's talk about the uniqueness of that. You guys were the designated visiting team. The stands were not open behind you.
Sure.
So there was nothing that was going on behind you. In fact, our cheerleaders were on the opposite side because all the fans were sitting behind the home side, which was what El Paso Austin was designated on that night. No bands. Again, you say 6 o'clock start. So, pretty much the lights just kind of barely come on at the end of the game.
Sure.
That kind of affects it in that way, at least. So, again, just kind of a different feel. You guys leave here, I think, at 8:30?
8:30 in the morning.
And so it was, it was a different, just the whole thing.
It was different, and honestly, I sort of like it. I just like that our kids have to respond, that our kids have to find ways to create their own energy, that we had to, maybe find a way to win and not the most favorable conditions. And I think that's part of, of growing a football team. Because you never know. You never know when the playoffs get here that we might play, a game where the lights don't come on, or you play an afternoon game, or I just think it gives us an opportunity to be able to, execute and respond just in not the most desirable conditions.
Yeah, I agree. Coach, I felt like defense, which is normally a calling card for us, was there. El Paso Austin had one drive that was pretty good near the first of the game, but time and time again, your defense was called on. El Paso Austin, made some plays. They tipped some balls that they were able to intercept and got great field position, but the defense just answered and answered and answered.
They did, and I think El Paso Austin did exactly what they wanted to do. I mean, we knew that coming in, that they were going to slow things down, try to continue to keep the football and possess it and keep it out of our offense's hand. We made that even worse at times. We had multiple turnovers on offense, which just played right into their hands, gave them the football for another possession, allowed them to work the clock. But really proud, I think we threw an interception went down to the 4-yard line. Yeah. We go 4 downs, and I think they actually lost maybe half a yard in those 4 downs. Yeah. So that was good. That was really good for our defense to be able to get out there and do that. And then it happens again. I think they get down to the 15 or 20 yard line, and we hold them with no points. Mm-hmm. You talked about the drive early. They did. They converted a couple of 4th downs in that drive, and then not so much what El Paso Austin did, but what we didn't do. We've talked about that over and over every week, and that was another situation, where we just didn't execute like we needed to, and it cost us a touchdown. And so we've got to find ways to not allow that. I mean, that's been a little bit of our Achilles heel throughout the year, throughout this season. But what we did do is, it was just once. It was 7 points, and then we responded the rest of the game and kept them out of the end zone.
I felt like going into the second half and then throughout the second half, your offense really answered as well. Being able to move the ball, sustain drives, being able to keep the ball. Because I think for the majority of the first half, El Paso Austin had the ball, but we kind of answered that in the second half, play a little keep away from them, and really do well, putting 21 points on the board second half.
We did. We had some big run plays in the second half that really kept our drives alive, and then we just hit some big plays in the passing game. Really proud of Colton on that, and our receivers. I thought he did a good job of they did a great job of running those routes, and he did a really good job of connecting and hitting them, and then showed a little bit of the speed that we have at our receiver position. I thought James Coley did a really good job, and then Johnny Marquez, which was a guy that had a really good night on all phases. He punted really well. He had 19 tackles on defense, and then did a great job offensively when he was in as well.
Yeah, let's talk about a couple of those guys. Let's talk about Johnny Marquez first, since we've mentioned him. Huge game, 19 tackles on defense. 3 of them for loss. I think a few of those were drive enders, where he makes the tackle, drives over, forced a fumble. Did have 80 receiving yards, which was all in one catch, and it was a touchdown. Looked like he was shot out of a cannon when he caught the ball. Had a 42-yard punt average. One of those, I think we downed on the 6-yard line inside the 10. He also had 27 kickoff return yards. If he can figure out a way to get past the kicker,
I know.
he has another touchdown.
He did. He played really well, and Johnny's a kid that defensively is really just starting to understand what he's doing. He was he hadn't played safety. He played at times last year, but this is really his first year, and he's really just starting to understand that. And he's a pretty electric player for us on all sides. He's got breakaway speed on offense. We've been playing him a little bit at tailback, playing him at receiver, and then he's our punter as well, and then a kick return. He was inches away from busting that, and we've got to find a way that to get us past the kicker. We messed with him on that and kidded around with him a little bit, but he's really playing really well for us right now. I think he's a big part of our success this far.
Luis Escarcega comes in, really does a great job rushing the ball. He ends up on the night with 131 rushing yards. That's
2 weeks really. I thought he came in against Bushland,
right.
And did a really good job in the second half of that ball game, and then here he is here. He really did in the second half bust some long runs that really kept drives alive and allowed us to get in the end zone. And so, just proud of him for taking advantage of his opportunities. Early in the season, he wasn't maybe getting the amount of snaps that he wanted, but just kept on, staying true and kept on just grinding and understanding his role, and I think that's why he's having a whole lot of success right now.
Well, it was a good win. It's good to finish district play with that momentum.
It is, and that
non-district play. Sorry,
and that was the key. That's what we wanted to do is to create some momentum leading into this first district game, and I think we did exactly that.
I think so, Coach. Going back, we'll be at home this week as we begin district play, playing against the Randall Raiders again. The way that the district schedule works is what you played last year, you flip it and play opposite of what you did. So the second year in a row, we'll lead off district play with Randall. They come in 3-3. They are the defending district champions. What are you looking for out of tonight's opponent?
Well, I think, what I see thus far, they're very similar to us.
Sure.
A team that lost a lot of football players from the previous year. They were real senior heavy, so they've got a lot of maybe, inexperienced kids playing right now, and I think they've been working all season long to gain that experience, and we're just the same. Mm-hmm. And so, what I expect to see is just, I think Randall will play as hard as they can. I think we'll see a Dan Sherwood, a new coach, always does a great job with his teams and has his kids playing really well. So I expect that. They've got a quarterback and tailback that really lead their team offensively, and I think they're we have to be prepared for that. But I just expect two teams to come out and really the biggest deal here is that we're fighting for something now. Yeah. It really is. There's something on the line. I think it's real important, for every team in our district to try to start off the district race 1-0, not chasing from behind. And so it's going to be a really good football game, and two teams that are really hungry for a win.
I know that I think the way that you guys kind of set this up, it's just kind of by chance as the district schedule kind of goes out. Everybody makes sure that you kind of have 2 away, 2 home, mm-hmm. and all that kind of stuff, and it ends up working out either year. But to get to start this year at home, historically, Dumas has played well at home, especially in district play. How much of that do you think is going to be an advantage for you guys?
Well, I'm definitely excited about it. Yeah. Anytime that we can play in front of our home crowd, we've got a community that really supports us really well, and our kids feel comfortable playing on our field. And so I definitely, I don't know if it's an advantage for us, but I'm definitely, excited about it. Yeah. Because no matter where it is, we're going to have to go out next year. We're going to have to play the game of football, but definitely we're more familiar with this field. I think our crowd and our student section and just the energy that's generated by our community and our fans, I think is definitely an advantage for us. I'm really looking forward to playing in front of our crowd.
Sure. On the defensive side of the ball, what's going to be key for you guys tonight to stop Randall?
I talked a little bit about their quarterback and their running back. They're both pretty electric, have really good speed, and so I think being able to hold those two guys in check. The quarterback is he's a dual threat guy. He's not there's been games where he's thrown for over 350, close to 400 yards. There's been games where he's rushed for a lot of yards, and so I think being able to understand where he's at and keep him in check is very, very important. And then the running back's got some good speed as well, and just does a great job of hitting the holes. And I think our success defensively is that we limit the production from those two players, and then. I think like any other week, I think that that we make them one-dimensional. Yeah. I think being able to to take control and establish a defense that can stop the run game, make them one-dimensional, and then just I think it's also important that we limit the big plays in the passing. They've been able to do that from time to time on video on the different teams that they've played, and we've got to limit that. We've got to really limit their big plays in the passing game.
Offensive side of the ball, what do you think is going to be key for Dumas to be able to move the ball and score against Randall?
That's a great question, because as I look back and I did a lot of evaluating. I've looked at our offense right now, and we are moving the football, and we are we're having games where we've got 350, 400 yards of offense, and so we're moving it. That's not been the problem. Currently right now, we're averaging 18 points, and so I think that's where the focus is. Continue to move the football, but we've got to to put it in the end end zone. When we get our opportunities, that was a difference in this ball game last year. We got inside of the red zone. I think inside of the 5-yard line 3 times we came away with 0 points. And so, anytime when you're playing a team like Randall, that plays the game really hard and physical, we're going to have to, any opportunity that we have to put the ball in the end zone, we've got to come away with points, whether that be 3 or whether it be, 7. I think that's our key is we've got to be able to score and put points on the board.
Well, Coach, I'm looking for a big time atmosphere in this game. I'm excited to get here to this point.
Sure.
And excited to see what the Demons have.
I am too. Can't wait. Really, really excited about the start of the district race and just a football game that has a lot more on the line.
Sure.
The stakes have gone up, and so excited about it.
Well, Coach, we've talked a lot about growing. Talked a lot about this having a young team. At this point, you kind of start putting that to the side a little bit. It's your 6 games in. This is going to be the 7th game. At some point, your guys who are young become experienced. And even though they might not have played in a district game yet, this might be something new again.
Sure.
At some point, it is you're putting on the pads, you're putting on the jersey, you're going on the field, and here we go.
Yes, I think we've had many opportunities for growth, and those will continue. It's not like they're over yet; they'll continue. But really, really proud of just of the opportunities that our kids have been given, and just what they've done with it. I think we've continually gotten better every single week, and that's the name of the game. And so, really looking forward to for another opportunity in front of us. Just the stakes of this opportunity are a lot greater.
That's all you can ask for.
Yes, sir.
Let's talk about report cards so far this season. Improvements from preseason through non-district play.
Thank you for watching Dumas ISD TV. Be sure to check out these upcoming Dumas ISD events.
Okay, well let's talk about report cards so far this season. Improvements from preseason through non-district play. And we're going to break this down pretty much by position group. So let's start out with the defensive backs, safeties, and your corners.
Sure. Well, we've made some changes. That was we started off with Emil Marquez. He was the newcomer of the district last year. Played at corner. We've had to make some changes. We've had some injuries, and so we've moved him to safety. I really think that's been a great move. I think Emil and Johnny are really doing a great job at safety. They feed off each other pretty well. And then the growth at the corner position. We've got James Coley playing both ways, receiver playing corner as well, and then Flores is playing great. I've seen great improvement. We've played some tough games. Been in some tough situations. Those corners have really been challenged throughout the season, and I don't ever feel that our coverage is. We've never just had guys running wide open down the field, and so we've continually gotten better at that, and just our technique of how we play receivers and how we challenge balls. They've been challenged as well with some difficulties of pass interference and different things. And so, I would, if I was giving them a report card, I definitely, whatever we started at, we're definitely better right now.
Yeah, I agree, and I love to be able to look back and see we have played incredibly tough guys on the outside. Looking at what Lubbock Cooper has.
Sure.
You look at the athletes that you face against Lubbock Estacado the next week. Perryton traditionally has been pretty good on the outside.
Sure.
They've got some long, big guys out there. And you just go week by week. Plainview had guys that were
really talented.
Just go up and catch the ball.
Sure.
And then you play Bushland, and those guys they're quick and they play hard and they're going to sling the ball.
They are. Mm-hmm.
And so they've just gotten. I don't know if you could have had a better thing laid out for them as far as, all right, here's what we're going to test you with.
No doubt. They've definitely had a test, and I think they've graded well as we've improved and went from week to week.
Well, you've got a brand new slate of linebackers for our next group, and those guys, those 4 guys, they've been a pretty much stable group as far as the first 6 games.
Sure. A huge question coming into the season with this group. None of them had started. Not one of them. Not one of the 4 had started. Both outside linebackers, both inside linebackers. This was their first varsity competition. And we had some struggles early. What we do have with the 2 inside linebackers, we've got Ed Ain and Eden. Eden is the biggest thing that I've been impressed with him is his smartness, his intelligence, his ability to check our defense. I don't know that we've been in the wrong defense, and he checks everything. I don't know that the people know that, but he checks every front that we have, and I don't think we've ever been in the wrong one. I think he's got us in the right place, and so his intelligence and his ability to learn a game plan and get out there on the field and check it, very, very impressed with. Yeah. Early on, I didn't think our tackling was great, with these 4 guys, but I think just every single week they've gotten better and better and better. We put a lot of emphasis on it each and every week, and I think they've answered the call on that. Connor Fry, his ability to cover is really good. He's got great speed, and I just really think. Last week I think we had we saw a really good game. From our outside linebackers, and just so as far as where those guys started and maybe their grade now, great improvement, but I still believe that there's a lot more improvement to be done.
The defense that you play, linebackers are very important, right?
Very, very, very important. Gap sound defense. You got to be in your gap. Got to be where you're supposed to be. We put a lot on them, a lot of reading, a lot of different things of that nature, and so a lot's put on these guys. And so I've been really, really proud of how they've handled, the pressure that's put on them. Because look back through history. Just in the time that I've been here in Dumas, we've had some really, really good inside linebackers. I was getting ready to say. Some big name kids that have played really, really well for us and have been the staple, of our defense here.
Yes, and some of them still playing.
They are, yes, sir.
D-line.
This is where we had Arnaldo Hernandez was one of our returners. Yep. And so we only had 2. We had one with Emmanuel Marquez at the corner, and we had Arnaldo Hernandez, at the nose guard. And I think Arnaldo has played really, really good. He's done exactly what we thought he could do. Even in some of our losses, you go back all the way to our first game at Lubbock Cooper, I thought Arnaldo played really, really well. And he continues to, and he's doing a great job. And I think our other guys have, we've had to shuffle the deck a little bit there. We've got Blake playing now, and Blake is he's 150 pounds defensive line, and I think he's just what's so impressive about Blake is just the way that he plays the football game. Really, really proud of that kid. Because he's a senior, a kid that was not getting tons of reps when the season started, but he's a kid that just continued to show up. He's playing really good football right now, and I think his effort on the field is unmatched. I'm not for sure that anybody plays the game harder than he does. Yeah. I think last week he had something like 11 tackles. Yeah. That's very, very impressive. Yeah. With him, that line was huge. They were 300 pounders, and he's sitting there at 150. So he's giving up so much weight, but just proves to you, what your motor and your heart will do for you in the game of football.
Yeah, he's like the Energizer Bunny.
Yes, he is.
He's just I've been able to watch him over the past few years, and he does just a high motor kid.
Sure, he is. Really, really proud of him and what he's doing for us right now.
That's great. So from the D line to the O line,
great. this is somebody that we started the season with that we had a lot of really high hopes. We really liked what our offensive line was doing in the spring. We really liked the guys that we were fixing to come. Again, not bringing tons of starters back, but even the guys that were inexperienced, we felt really good about.
Sure.
And I'm not for sure. I'm not for sure we graded like we felt when the season started.
Sure.
But we are now. I think we finally have found the right combination, the right mix. We've got some kids playing really, really well right now. We had 2 offensive linemen, I think, in the last couple of weeks grade out at like 95 and 98%, which is unheard of. There's so much that the offensive line has to do. I mean, they're graded from their first step to assignment to the finish, and so many ways that they could get a negative mark there. And so obviously I think probably led by Keegan Ireland. I think he's doing a great job. But an offensive line that I think has really, really improved and is being the O-line that we believe they could be.
Keegan to me is, and I know that his peers picked him as a team captain.
Sure.
But to me, he epitomizes what a leader should be. I mean, you look at him after a game, it looks like he has been in a street fight.
It is, and last week was even more, because I don't know if you've noticed, but we're playing him on the defensive line now.
Yeah, that's right.
He's just a kid that will do anything in his power to help us win. I mean, that's where he is right now. And we asked him to play defensive line. I thought he did a really good job. I talked to him, this week. I looked over there at him at one time in the game last week, and he was just on the sidelines and just looked absolutely exhausted. And understand why. I mean,
sure.
I don't know that everybody understands the amount of pushing and battle from down to down that an offensive and defensive lineman does. Just a lot of combative pushing and fighting each and every play, and it's exhausted. But you never saw it on the field. He played really well.
So. Well, and you talk about last week. I mean, some teams that you're going to face are going to drop back and protect the quarterback, but Paso Wasa is just firing off every single time.
Double teams. So not only just fighting one man, that weighs 300 pounds, but 2 of them. So.
Oh man, that's a good group.
It is.
Good group of guys.
It is.
Your wide receivers and tight ends.
Well, I think here in the last 3 weeks, you could really look at the improvement of our receivers. I'm not sure that that maybe in the first couple of games of how they were graded, even though they weren't catching the football much, they were still doing what they needed to do and blocking and doing those type of things. But really, as far as being wide receivers, that we haven't seen here in a while in Dumas. We've got some receivers that are running great routes and really catching the football. Yeah. Cole Garcia, we've had multiple guys playing at tight end. Whether it be Aaron Arantia or Cole Garcia. Cole's gone through some injuries and fought through that and just found a way. But I would think that these guys' grades have definitely improved. In the last 3 weeks, just with the plays that they're making. And some tough plays. There's been some good coverage, and Colton has really put the ball on a rope there, and they've held on the football and taken really, really big shots. And so really proud of just for them, just staying true to our system, and then being, when we are throwing the football around, they've really, really excelled and done great things for us.
This group to me is really neat because every single guy brings a certain uniqueness to the position. Sometimes you can look at teams and you go, well, we've got, 8 wide receivers, and they're basically all the same guy. Well, this is not true for this group. Each one of these guys is different, even from Cole to Aaron. I mean, the tight ends kind of brings some different flair too. And what I think is amazing, just looking back stat-wise, I think there's been 13 different people that have caught the ball this year. I mean, it's just spread out.
I believe it, and I think that's something you've, maybe we have not attempted this many throws in the past, but I think that's something you've seen from our teams even in the past. I mean, we are not we don't have that one bell cow. We've just got a system. We've got kids that we believe at any point in time that they should understand the system and be ready for the football. And kids have really done a great job doing that, and we are. We're able to. I think that says a lot about our kids too. That the quarterback has the confidence, to spread the football around like that. It doesn't matter, and he's not looking for one guy, and that's where the football's got to go. He's doing a really good job of, at times checking down, maybe throwing it to a running back. So really proud of our kids.
Well, let's move to those running backs. You've got a couple guys right now that little bit of lightning and thunder, but they can both they can both show some speed at times too.
They can. Coming into the season, we had, we're really excited about Eduardo. Really thought that he was going to have a breakout year, and I think he has. He's went through a few injuries here, but is back from that and playing really good right now. And then when he was out, I think we've had other guys. Luis Escarcega. I think we've talked about him for 2 weeks now. And so he's doing some really good things. And I think Johnny Marquez is starting to really show up in there. And I think we will. I think what I'm excited about is just how our staff is being able to utilize the kids that we have.
Sure.
And our kids also having the understanding, and maybe the patience. Because we've got a lot of kids maybe not doing exactly what they want to do, but that's what they're called to do, and that's what we've asked them to, and they're doing a really good job of executing it and just doing that.
Well, it's fun to watch week to week. I mean, and even kind of seeing Luis showed some things last year.
He did,
and showed that he can carry the load at times when called upon, and then I think really just kind of seeing his reemergence in the last couple games has been pretty special to watch, because Eduardo has done really well.
He has.
And then, he was kind of suddenly out there for a little bit, and Luis just stepped right in like it was his job the whole time.
And that's just being able to, to have the confidence, continue to get maybe those mental reps in practice where you're not getting all the reps. And he's done a great job of that, because it was 3 weeks ago, Eduardo was getting majority of the carries, and rightfully so. He was the guy that was producing, and we're going to go with the hand that is producing, but really, really appreciate our kids' ability, to just stay intact, keep on understanding that they're going to be a part of the game plan. I think that's the biggest thing, is that every one of our kids understand that you're a play away. You never know, and so you better be engaged. You better be able to perform, when your number's called, and Luis has been able to do that.
Well, let's keep that narrative right now, because let's move on to quarterbacks. We played 6 games and had 3 different quarterbacks, and all 3 started.
Sure.
And, because of necessity, you've had to kind of move some guys around and move some guys in, and I feel like we're in a really good spot right now.
I do too, and when you start the season, you just talked about all the inexperience that we've had, and then we've come up with adversity too.
Sure.
Through our inexperience, we have an inexperienced quarterback that was getting his first, when we started the season, his first varsity snap since only playing 4 games as a freshman. Really was seeing great growth in him, was really starting to play well. Unfortunate injury. Aaron Arantia comes in, finishes the game, not only just comes in and finishes the game, but executes our offense, and able to extend the leads and really pull away and win that football game. And then here we come into the next game, and Aaron starts, and we were limited on a little bit of our formations, and so we had to go with Colton Mills, the freshman quarterback, and he's just no fear, not scared of anything, and has come in and has just really executed really well. Had maybe a little bit of an off game, but as you look at that, if you're just a person on the outside looking, you're probably looking at saying, man, our quarterback didn't do very well. He threw this amount. He threw not all him. They had a big old defensive lineman that was doing a really good job of tipping the balls at the line of scrimmage. And so we've got to do a better job, around him, the support staff around him, and to allow him to execute a lot better, but made some really, really big plays, that won us the football game there and extended the lead and gave us 27 points.
I look at Colton, and just kind of his progression reminds me a lot of Spencer Williams in 2018.
I would agree, and where I would compare those two, totally different kids,
Sure.
A lot of this is just his youth, and his body's not fully developed yet. But Spencer was a physical kid. We ran the football a lot with him. We're not doing that exactly with Colton, but what they are, what is similar is just their personalities. Just right here. Sometimes at times I get concerned with Colton that that maybe he doesn't understand it, or maybe he's. But no, he's just he's a quiet kid.
Yeah.
Never riding the roller coaster. You never see him up here. You never see him down here. Just pretty consistent. I think that's a good quality of our quarterback. And if anything, for him to have, that Spencer had, that I believe made Spencer a really, really good quarterback, it's just that. It's he's never riding the roller coaster. He's pretty even keel and keeps a really, really solid mind.
You talk about just the need. He was playing 8th grade junior high football last year, and you jump past 2 levels. He played freshman football to start the season, but you jump really past that freshman level, completely skip the JV level, and go right to into those varsity games. You know, he's had some incredible opportunities already. You know, playing on the road in a sold out stadium in Plainview, basically the same type of scenario last week in Bushland, and then last week just having to face the adversity of you know the turnovers, and so I look at how Spencer kind of handled those things as a sophomore. I know that Colton's a freshman, but you know, Spencer struggled in non-district play, but the non-district play got him ready for district play.
It did, you know, and I go back to that Wichita Falls High game, you know, where Spencer really struggled as a sophomore, and it just, you know, it just grew from it, just learned, and that's, you know, that's how I'm excited and proud of Colton at this time as well, that he did have some adverse moments last week, but then right after that adverse moment, you know, throws an 80-yard touchdown. You know, so it's great. You know, it's great to see him be able to, you know, because there's a lot, especially with his youth, there could be a quarterback that struggles with like that and throws some interceptions that could really, you know, go in a shell, but he doesn't do it. And I think that's his even keel mentality. And then it's also kids around him making plays. And so really, really proud of that right now.
Let's go to special teams now. Punter.
You know, we a different guy, you know, and you know, maybe not the exact style punter that you'd like to see, but Johnny is a guy that you know, just gets results. He's had some times, you know, he's had a couple of punts in games that have went, you know, 15 and 20 yards, but consistently he's done a really, really good job. It's not the type of punt that you're going to see spiraling in the air. Sometimes it's end over end, but I think that's why we've seen a lot of success. I mean, you know, he can put it anywhere on the field. We're kicking it all the way from the left sideline to the right sideline, and I think people have to do a really good job of being able to cover those. And so proud. I think he had a punt average of 42 yards last week, and so that's super. You know, he's getting the job done, and really excited about, you know, what he does for us right now. He does a great job of pinning us deep and allowing us to play defense behind it.
What I like about him is it just seems like whatever you've asked him to do, he's just like, okay, let's do it.
He is, and you know, and there's a lot. I mean, you could only imagine the amount of information that's in that kid's head. You know, we are very, very attention to detail on the defense side of the football, and rightfully so on offense. I mean, he's gone from receiver to, you know, to running back to he's our punter. We've asked a lot of him, and he's really, really doing a really good job of being able to handle all that pressure and handle everything that we've asked him to do.
It's fun to watch. Another freshman kicker.
Doing much better. You know, still is a freshman. You know, just as we talked about our freshman quarterback, he has moments, as you would expect all freshmen to do.
Sure.
You know, but he's doing a really good job for us right now. He's not quite as consistent, you know, as maybe we need him to be on the, you know, on his field goals. You know, he's had some opportunities and he's missed a few, but that's again what I like to see in him. He's missed a few, and then he'll come right back with the next opportunity, hits it. You know, he's not a kid that gets, you know, that gets negative on himself or misses something and stays in that routine. He bounces right back from it, and again, just somebody that I believe, you know, we're gonna have for 4 years at that position. And so I really think that we're going to see some really good things from him as he continues throughout the season.
What to me is exciting about him is, you know, in some years you just kind of look and like, well, they just don't have the leg.
Sure.
This is a big leg that's going to get bigger over the next 4 years.
He does, and that's something we actually just challenged with him this week. You know, everybody remembers Ollie Yart that we had. You know, one of the best kickers in Dumas history, and you know what we told Josh is that, hey, this is a guy that could squat, you know, 450 pounds, and so you want to have that powerful leg like he does. I mean, let's get in the squat rack. You know, I mean, just because he's our kicker doesn't mean that he needs to not be in the squat rack.
Right. Let's talk about the return game. I think that this might be one of the best, you know, special team segments that we have. That return game is dangerous.
I would agree, you know, and multiple kids doing it. You know, it's not just one guy. And so Coach Phillips, our special teams coordinator, has done a really good job with this unit. I will say, you know, maybe not a negative, but you know, I think we are better at this because we've had a lot of opportunities, you know, early. And so what that says early, you know, we were struggling on defense. We gave up a lot of points. We had a lot of opportunities to return the football, but even in the games that were not. I mean, not last week. I mean, last week we had, 2 opportunities, and one of them, was almost to the house. And so just some kids that are taking pride in this phase of the game. Special teams is something that we take a lot of pride in. It's not something that we just shortchange and not work on. We start, in 2 days working on special teams. It's not something that we install just a week before our first game and at every level. And so I think it's really playing well for us right now and really giving our offense the ability to really start with good field position almost every time when we take the field.
And I'm not sure that, the people that come and watch the game understand this, but being able to have success early in this return game could really pay off in district play, especially if they don't want to kick it deep. Then you're going to start with great field position every time.
Agree. I do, and I think it's something that people are definitely going to have to look at. We haven't really been pinned real deep much this year. I mean, we've had some success in returning the ball, and so definitely think it's going to be something that people are going to have to look at and determine what they want to do with the football.
Yeah, I agree. So overall report card. How do you think the team's done?
I mean, I don't. As we went through position by position, I don't think any of those guys have gotten worse. Yeah. I don't. I mean, have we had moments in every game? Sure, but I mean, I think that's just part of the process. Yeah. I think you can go position by position as we just did, and I think that you can see that every one of those group of kids has improved. Yeah. And so is our football team. As each individual position gets better, it just overall helps us, as a football team. And I think we're gonna have the opportunity. We're gonna see, what this pre-district race has done for us, what our tough schedule has done for us, and I just believe, I believe it exposed us. I believe it, made us vulnerable. It made us focus on things we might not have seen if we wouldn't have played some of these type of teams. And so it's all for this. It's all for this district race. It's all for Randall. And so I'm really excited to see where we're at and see the improvement that we really made.
Yeah, I'm excited to get it going as well. We got one burning question today. The absolute best sports drink.
I mean, I don't know that there's anything different besides Gatorade. I don't know. I think that might be everybody's question out of 100. Gatorade.
Oh yeah, 100%. I'm with you. Let's talk about a few games. Emerald High going to travel down and play at Lubbock Cooper.
Really tough game.
Man.
Lubbock Cooper's got a really good football team. I've had the opportunity to play them, be on the field with them, so I know what they have. I think Emerald High's got a lot of momentum right now.
I do too.
They're 2-0 in the district race, playing really good football. I think the challenge in this game is going to be Emerald High's offense versus Lubbock Cooper's defense. Yep. I think Lubbock Cooper's defense is really special. I do. We found that out in week 1. Yeah. And so, it'll be I think it'll be whoever's offense, can produce the most points here, because I do think both defenses are really having a lot of success right now and playing really well, and so I think that's what that game will boil down to.
Man, it's gonna be special down there in Lubbock, and
sure.
I think we know who we're cheering for.
I'm definitely taking the standings.
Yeah, 100%. This one of those long travel games. Leveling and travel play at Perryton.
Perryton's got a little bit of momentum. They got it against Pampa and then fell short last week against a really good Stratford football team. And so always been tough to play at Perryton.
Sure.
I'm not for sure that Leveland has produced the amount of success that they need to go into Perryton and be able to win. And so I'm going to take Perryton in this game.
I agree, Coach. This is a great game. Wichita Falls Rider going to travel down and play at a place where you coached for a little bit, Abilene Cooper.
Sure, and this has always been I remember some games, against Rider when I was at Abilene Cooper. I mean, always a really tough ball game. Abilene Cooper struggled a little bit this year. I think they're 7-1-4 right now. Their win is to San Angelo Central. They've been in some tough games, been in some close ones, but. I don't know. I just, maybe at this time, just looking off the scores, I really don't know much about both of them. I've coached at Abilene Cooper. I've played against Rider many times, but I'm going to take Rider in this football game.
Shotwell Stadium, pretty special place to play, right?
It is, and they've redone it. There's been a lot of work done. They've got a brand new press box, and just they've done a lot of work on that. And Shotwell is a really neat place to play.
It's got one of those historic Texas high school football stadiums.
It does.
Next game, this one intrigues me a little bit, because of the fact it's at Plainview. Abilene Wiley's been playing well. They play pretty good, and they're going to travel up play Plainview.
They have, and I've seen Abilene Wiley make some big surprises, I thought, in some games. Sometimes I've seen them, win some games I wasn't for sure they were going to, and then the other way too. Yeah. And so I have been on the field with Plainview. I'm really, their success and what they've done this season, I think, is huge. I think they showed a lot, when they went into Hereford and just lost that game by 3 points. So a lot of momentum happening in Plainview and at home. I was able to play in front of that home crowd. They're pretty rowdy. They're really excited about their football team right now, and so I'm just going to go with the home team. I'm going to go with Plainview at this because it's at Plainview.
I would agree with that. This is, again, it's a district matchup, but it still kind of has that pull as far as I think Plainview's going to have a little bit of momentum still, even though
I think so.
They're coming. I think they're coming off a bye week.
They are.
They lost to Hereford in their last game, but
real close one.
But I think Plainview's still playing with a lot of confidence, momentum there.
Agree.
Lubbock Monterey going to travel up Dick Bivens Stadium, play Tascosa.
I think this is a Thursday game, and so a really. This is interesting. I mean, both teams are struggling a bit right now. I mean, but when you talk about the struggle of Monterey, I mean, they didn't have a win last year, and they're playing much better football right now, and they've had some really really tough games that they've lost. And then Tascosa, really on the opposite side of that. Tascosa had some injuries early that's really caused them some problems. I'm just. I think Lubbock Monterey has a little bit more momentum right now. I think they're playing a little bit better football, and I'm going to go with Monterey in this one.
Yeah, I don't know if it's an upset or not. I don't know how this game's picked, but I think Monterey could come up here and win the game.
I do too.
The next one, again, it's just an interesting district matchup. Abilene High will travel up play at Caprock.
It's a long game. It's a long road trip, but Abilene High is playing really good football right now.
Man,
they are. I mean, just real impressive. They've taken some road trips already as well. And I don't think Caprock has the team that they've had. I mean, they're not. They're struggling a little bit offensively. I think Caprock's playing pretty decent defense.
Sure.
Their kids fly around. I noticed that when we played them, and I think they continue to do that. But I think Abilene High is a better football team.
Yeah, I agree. And then we've got the other district matchup. So 5 teams in our district. Every week somebody will be on a bye. This week it's Canyon.
Sure.
So the other game that's taking place in our district, District 3-4A, is Hereford at Pampa.
Pampa's got a little momentum. I think momentum in the game of football is big. They had a comeback win in Borger in a big rivalry game. Found a way to win that game. And Hereford's coming off of I don't know if you call it a. I mean, that was a good football team that they played last week in West Plains, and just West Plains got the better of them. But again, I'm not for sure on this game. I think it's a good football game and one that I'm very, very interested in because I'm interested. I'm interested to see how Hereford can bounce back. I'm interested to see if Pampa has found a little bit, of their swagger. I mean, I think Pampa might be getting kids back from injury. So this is an interesting football game.
And both of these teams are different from what they were last year. I guess we can say that for Randall and Canyon too.
Sure.
And for us,
I think you say that for a lot of our teams in our district. I do.
Yeah. And so you can't just say, well, we know what these teams are like. They've been that way. Watching both of these two teams play, and Pampa just late in that game, things really turned on for them. Those kids started playing, looked like with a lot of confidence and. In Hereford, I came away pretty impressed with them, seeing with how they played against West Plains. They're big and they're physical.
Big. They are big,
and I think this can be a fun game over there.
I do too. I think it's a really big game.
Well, Coach, we're here.
We are.
District play. We'll see the stands packed out here on Friday night. It's nice to be home. It's been about a month.
It has been. It's been a long time.
Played back here at home, and excited to get out there.
I am too. Excited, for our crowd, excited for our community to be able to come out and support us. Looking for a really big crowd and just an environment here that's going to be, what the opening district matchup should look like between two good football teams, and so really excited about this football game.
Well, Coach, thanks for joining us.
Thank you, Zane.
Looking for a big one tonight from the Demons. Hey, Demons versus the Randall Raiders. District 3 4A is kicking off right after this.
You're watching Dumas ISD TV.